Hi, I'm Emily, your safety trainer, and in today's video, we'll be talking about slips, trips, and falls. Introduction. Slipping, tripping, and falling. We've all been there, done that, and got the bruises to prove it. But did you know that these accidents can have more severe consequences when they happen on the job? In fact, slips, trips, and falls can pose a serious risk, especially when you're performing job tasks that require you to be on your feet. Fortunately, there are ways to prepare and minimize your chances of slipping and sliding all over the place. In this lesson, we'll dig into your personal center of gravity, break down the different types of slips, trips, and falls, explore common causes and injuries, and learn how you can avoid becoming a victim of these accidents. So get ready to stand tall, stay grounded, and prevent those slips, trips, and falls. Your personal center of gravity. Did you know that something as simple as the placement of your arms and legs can greatly impact your chances of experiencing a slip, trip, or fall? It's true. Our personal center of gravity, which is created by the triangle between our legs and lower back, can be affected by our height and weight as well. It's important to be aware of how our center of gravity is impacted by our movements and actions, especially when it comes to extending our arms or legs beyond our natural positioning. By maintaining our center of gravity and being mindful of our movements, we can greatly reduce our risk of accidents and falls. So next time you reach for something, keep your center of gravity in mind and stay safe. Definitions. The terms of slipping, tripping, or falling seem similar, but there are differences. Slips are defined as a loss of balance caused by little friction between your feet and the surface they are on, whereas a trip is defined as when there is sufficient momentum for your body to be thrown off balance when your foot contacts an object or drops to a lower level. Lastly, a fall is when you move too far off your center of gravity to a lower level or the ground. Common causes of slips, trips, and falls. In the workplace, we all strive to stay safe and injury-free. Unfortunately, slips, trips, and falls can happen for a variety of reasons. Wet and slippery floors can pose a serious risk, especially during winter months when ice and snow can make surfaces slick. See our winter safety slips, trips, and falls lesson for more information. Changes in elevation and uneven walking surfaces can also make for hazardous conditions. Even something as simple as being distracted while walking, by looking at your phone for example, can increase the likelihood of a fall. And let's not forget about proper lighting. A dimly lit hallway or workspace can make it hard to spot potential hazards. Accidents can also happen when the floor material changes, like when you walk from a carpeted area to an area with wood floor. Obstructions in doorways and walkways, like boxes or uncovered cords, can also create a hazard. It's important to stay vigilant and prioritize safety in all workplace environments. Common injuries associated with slips, trips, and falls. Slipping, tripping, and falling might not seem like a big deal, but they can happen anywhere and can result in some pretty serious injuries. From broken bones to traumatic brain injuries, slips, trips, and falls can cause all kinds of harm. We're talking spinal injuries, neck injuries, concussions, lacerations, knee, ankle, shoulder, elbow, and wrist damage, and injuries to your joints and face. It's important to be mindful of our surroundings and take precautions to avoid falls whenever possible. Common ways to minimize your chances of slipping, tripping, and/or falling. At work, it's important to remember that slips, trips, and falls can happen at any time. However, the good news is that there are things you can do to reduce your risk. One of the most important steps you can take is to wear appropriate footwear. This means selecting closed-toed shoes or boots that offer good traction, especially when working in slippery or wet areas. While it can be tempting to show off your stylish heels or sandals, these types of shoes generally aren't suitable for the workplace. They typically don't provide enough traction or security, putting you at risk for an accident. If you're unsure about what type of footwear is best for your job, don't hesitate to ask your supervisor for guidance. Remember to make sure your shoes are clean of mud, grease, and anything else that may affect their traction. One simple thing you can do is inspect your footwear for any signs of wear or damage that could affect your shoe's traction. Keep an eye out for holes or pebbles stuck in the sole of your shoe. These small details can make all the difference. If your employer provides your shoes, report wear and damage to them or replace footwear as needed if you are providing it. It's also important to make sure that all walkways and work areas have proper lighting. If you notice any burnt out lights, be sure to report it to your supervisor or designated maintenance personnel. Keeping your workspace clean is an important aspect of staying safe comfortable and able to perform to the best of your abilities. Practice proper housekeeping by ensuring that walkways and working surfaces are free of debris, ice, snow, mud, uncovered cords, and improperly placed mats. Be sure to clean up any spills immediately and use appropriate signage to warn others about wet or slippery floors. If you notice any hazards that cannot be easily cleaned up, be sure to notify your supervisor or designated maintenance staff. When cords have to be laid out in walkways, make sure they are either taped down or properly covered in accordance with company policies. Remember to remove cords once you are finished with them and store them according to company policies and procedures. It's always important to keep an eye out for potential hazards in the workplace. If you happen to come across any damage, it's crucial that you let your supervisor know right away so that the necessary repairs can be made. In the meantime, it's important that you take action to prevent any further accidents. Placing appropriate signage or barriers to warn others of the damage can go a long way in preventing any unnecessary harm. When walking in the workplace, it's also important that you stay alert and not let distractions like smartphones or papers get in the way of your safety. And when walking upstairs or other elevated surfaces, always make use of handrails if they're available to you. Keep your hands out of your pockets as this can shift your center of gravity, and do not jump from elevated surfaces. It's important to practice proper lifting techniques when picking up objects to prevent injury. If you're unsure how to lift safely, be sure to check out our lifting lesson for more information. Remember to slow down when walking on uneven surfaces, such as gravel or sloped lawns, or in parking lots with visible damage to the asphalt. When reaching higher objects, use ladders, scaffolds, or aerial lifts in accordance with your company's policies and the manufacturer's instructions. Avoid standing on pallets, chairs, or creating makeshift ladders to prevent falls. The accidents can happen, and if you do slip, trip, or fall while in the workplace, be sure to report any injuries to your supervisor and seek appropriate medical treatment. By taking the right precautions, you can help create a safer work environment for yourself and your colleagues. Conclusion. Slips, trips, and falls may seem like small accidents that can occur anywhere, but they can quickly become severe when they happen at work. Whether it's because of the nature of the job or the environment, you want to make sure you take precautions to avoid any accidents. From wearing the right footwear to ensuring proper lighting, there are small steps you can take to minimize your risk. So don't hesitate to speak up if you see a hazard, and always communicate any concerns to your supervisor. Your safety should always come first. That's all for today's lesson. If you like this video, look for us on social media, and remember, stay safe out there.